I've been married for 16 years. I have a 12-year-old daughter. Niece here. She's like it. So I want to say that first. G14, I hope y'all here, because I'm going to need y'all to back me up. You know G14? Come on. Now that we got that out the way, look, my name is Michael Scott, and I want to introduce myself because I want to make a point. I operate and manage a multi-million-dollar business in this area. Okay? I am a homeowner. All right? I am also a member of the Board of Elections for Paulding County. All right? I am a leader in the Democratic Party in Paulding County. The problem is that some of the people and I'm going to call you out, Sheriff, because I have to ask you a serious question about a serious issue. The problem is that you made a statement saying that supporters of Black Lives Matter movement supporters, protesters were coming to this community. You are looking at a Black Lives Matter supporter. And I live here. And there's a lot of Black Lives Matter supporters that are taxpayers, that are homeowners, that work in this community, that live in this community. There is no outside agitation going on. There is black people that care about what's happening in our nation. No different than how black people care about the civil rights struggle. So for some of the comments that you made, now, I'm trying to be brief, please bear with me. But our sheriff did a Facebook post where his office did, communications department. And Sheriff, you can talk about it if you want, or would you like me to say what it was?
Go ahead.
And why we were so upset as a community. Because the black community in Paulding County, we need to be represented, okay? We have a voice. And even though we make up a small percentage in this community, we're taxpayers, we're voters, all right? So you made the statement. I'm just going to read part of the Facebook press release, exactly. And this was also on Pecan. We're asking that all those folks who support law enforcement, please stay home and don't instigate any problems with BLM protesters. Now, do you really understand the bellicose and really political divisiveness that article, that Facebook post put out?
Me and Corey talked about that last night.
I mean, do you Sir, you owe us an apology. And here's why. I really want you to understand it, because I want to dialogue with you, right? I'm sure there's others that want to talk to you. And we're glad you're here, because you could have said, I'm not coming. The racial inflammatory comments that followed your statement, did you read those?
No.
Hundreds of them. I never knew this community had people with such disgusting, ugly, and vile things that but for that post, sir, they wouldn't have had that opportunity. And let me say this last point. I'm not on that panel, but I consider myself a black leader, like a lot of people in this audience consider themselves leaders. This panel would have been perfect if you would have had one of us up there. Because political elite, that's great. But you need somebody who can speak from the people. That's first of all. Secondly, if you would have had me in your circle of conversation, I would have told you that Mr. Page, who is the organizer of Black Lives Matter in Atlanta, had no intentions of having a protest in Paulding County. You would have had that firsthand. You would have knew that, but instead, how many thousands of taxpayer dollars were spent while a military operation was taking place on 278?
Okay,
How much of my tax dollars? Because my tax rate just went up.
Oh, yeah.
I have to go to the assessor's office right now. And I hope nobody's writing my name down from the assessor's office to stop to raise my taxes.
I want to answer some of that while these people are here, but I know everybody's don't want to leave. Come to my office and let's me and you sit down. Some of this is going to be taken out of context. I thought as soon as I got the flyer that says it's going to happen, we start preparing for it. The first thing I done was I called Representative Alexander. And my comment was, help me get in touch with these people and find out what's going on and how I can keep them safe.
Now,
That's two.
can I just respond?
Yeah, let me respond. I want to help because you know me and I know you.
Oh, yeah.
So you know I'm a straight up cat, right?
That's what I love about it.
And you know I wouldn't put myself on blast for nobody to get in trouble. I love all my people. When I say my people, everybody that's in here. Now, I put this panel together, and I've never done this before. And I wanted the people to be able to talk. That's why you saw me agitated, and my wife is looking to make sure I'm okay, because I wanted y'all to be able to talk. I couldn't wait to hear what you had to say. I want to say this. I talked to Sheriff Gulledge. You tell me if I'm wrong. We talked for an hour. He was about in tears about what was going on, right? Now, I'm always having my discernment probes on to see, like, are you saying you for real, or are you really just saying it because it's, you know. We talked for about an hour. He was very upset about all of the comments. You know, some of them he was reading that we talked about. He was disgusted by what people were saying. And then I talked about Black Lives Matter, and I kind of set you up, I ain't gonna lie, in the conversation to see what you was gonna say. I said, I agree with Black Lives Matter, and whether you agree with it or not, I feel like people have the right to march and people have the right to do whatever. I believe Black Lives Matter, I believe all lives matter, but Black Lives Matter is talking about black lives because black people are being killed. And did you or did you not say to me that I believe in it too? Yes. Okay, this is what he said to me. You said, I believe in black, I'm saying this in front of you and all the sheriffs. He said that to me. He said, I believe in Black Lives Matter too. I don't want rednecks coming and acting crazy, and I don't want Black Lives Matter people coming out here and blocking traffic and making people where they can't answer calls. And he said it could be your mama, my mama having an issue with anybody, and he says 1 or 2 minutes can cause that much of a problem. I said, Sheriff, lean into it and don't try to stop them, because there's gonna be a problem because people are mad and ain't nobody playing. Millennials especially, I wanted to say that.
I kept talking to Kimberly through the night trying to find out, tell us where, tell us when.
Yeah, and so
she told me, she said, your Facebook post, people is getting inflamed about it. And I told her, she said, you need to get on there and delete him. I said, there's 2 of us that monitors this Facebook page, and we're both down there trying to do our jobs and not do that. Did I learn something from it? Yes. We'll get more people that can get on there and stop it. And when I talked to her, Ashley Henson is my public information officer because he's a lot prettier than I am. And you can ask him to sit there. If I lie, he throw rocks at me. I says, we can't control the thing. Delete it. Take it off the page and it's gone.
And Mr. Scott.
But what other people said, I can't control what you said on there. I can't control what they said on there.
But Mr. Scott.
I said it was political demagoguery. I said it. I was the guy that said it was political demagoguery because what it did was inflame all the different elements in our community to have now a venue to vent that frustration and to really hide behind social media. You know, because they're probably not here. Those people that had all those negative comments.
We call it keyboard courage.
Exactly.
Where they can't do like me and you and have a conversation.
I'm happy to be in this community. This community has not had any problems with people getting murdered.
Amen. And we don't want them.
And we don't want it. But part of that is this dialogue to make sure that inflammatory comments like what was on that Facebook page does not happen. And I would implore you, sir, to sit down with whoever wrote that particular press release. And I'm not saying you need to reprimand them, but if they need to take a class or something about how to communicate with your constituents.
Let me go to. Well, hold on a second, Mr. Scott. I want you to know when I read that, I told the sheriff to his face, you have to be careful what you say, because even as a black man, when I read it, I know how it sounded. When you say law-abiding citizens stay home, you infer that they were not law, and I told you his face. I told you. So your feelings, what you're voicing here today, I voiced yesterday. So I think not only should the police chief of Hiram, because he said something similar on their page, and it went all the heck too. It'll go a whole lot further to reach the constituents of Paulding County if they do a press release simply stating that there were American citizens exercising their right to protest. They were not anybody breaking the law, because like you said, it was not anyone from Black Lives Matter come to Paulding County. We already live here. We're already here. And so when Sheriff reached out to me, once again, being a former police officer and now being a pastor, I told him, I said, you got to be careful how you say things and the way it's going to be taken. And he said, you're right. He said, now next time, I'll make sure it doesn't happen again.
We had long conversations. I never talked to the sheriff as much as I did the past 2 days. So we talked 5 and 4, talked to David. So some of the sentiments that you're raising are the same sentiments that I said to him. Some of the same thing the pastor said, I said to him.
If I wanted to cause
I said, don't
problems,
try to shut it down. I said, because if you shut it down, you're going to have way more people come out here than what you think you shut down.
And I didn't see none of it. I was in the staff meeting, but I found out about what you're talking about because I heard him say that, and we talked for an hour that night, and I wanted to know how he felt.
There is a political element in this country. All right, now, like I said, I'm one of the leaders of the Democratic Party. I'm not going to go there because a Republican appointed me to the Board of Elections. Right there, Dave Austin. He had to do it by law, but he still did it. He didn't have to do it. But the nature of politics in this country now, you can see people talking about law and order. That's the law and order campaign. You know who's putting out that model, right? Nixon put out that model at a time in the civil rights struggle where he was against what they were doing. And so now we have that same atmosphere. All I'm asking is that we cool it down because you guys are responsible for de-escalating circumstances, not us.
that's what I was trying to do.
So can I talk for just one moment, please? So guys, my name's Ashley Henson. I am the Public Information Officer for the Sheriff's Office here in Paulding County. This is my sheriff. My sole purpose is to take care of my sheriff and to take care of our Sheriff's Office in our county. I wrote that press release. I put that stuff on Facebook. And so when I first got the information on our Facebook page, we got a screenshot from a young lady that indicated that there would be a Black Lives Matter rally, or protest rather, at 278 and Hiram going to Dallas. First thing I did was contact the sheriff. I contacted Lieutenant Colonel Hunton, and we got together and we decided what we were going to do. The sheriff made contact with Representative Alexander, and that was our first thing that we did. We wanted to find out who this person was that was sharing this information. We stayed up literally. I know the sheriff didn't even go to sleep. I know the colonel stayed up half the night. I was worried sick. Not because I was afraid of what was going to happen, but how are we going to respond in a way to show the community that we're here for you? Every single one of you out here, we are here for you. Absolutely, unequivocally, we are here for you. Now, I wrote that post, okay? Is there always a way that you can do things better? Absolutely. If you can sit here and look at yourself and evaluate a situation after it's over with, all right? You can always say, I could have done that better. Absolutely. Who likes football? I like football. How many times have you been sitting on the couch and you see Julio run down the middle and miss a ball? Man, Julio, he really missed that pass. Or one of the Braves players missed a catch. We can all say that wish we would have done that better. Well, are we perfect? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Now, can we do things better? Sure. I would love to sit down with you and discuss. Yes. So we've had situations. I put stuff on Facebook, and the sheriff can attest to this. Any one of our employees that follows our Facebook page can attest to this. I can put the most non-controversial topic on the Facebook page, and you would be amazed at how many negative and hateful comments we can get. I could put a puppy on there kissing a kid, and you'd have somebody say something ugly about it. It's undoubtedly, it's going to happen.
Well,
so our purpose was, in doing this, our phones were getting blown up. I was answering message after message after message. We had to put something out to indicate what was going on. People were sharing this like wildfire. We had a situation about a year and a half ago with a deputy. A deputy was photographed by a person, and it was a situation where we didn't respond to it immediately. We thought it would go away, and it didn't. It spiraled out of control. The deputy did absolutely nothing wrong. It went viral. It went to London. It went to Australia. We had to shut our page down because we got so much hate mail. I told the sheriff it was my recommendation. It was my recommendation to the sheriff and the command staff that we get out in front of this. Now, could we do it better? Absolutely. I know we got time. I know that a lot of other people want to talk, but I want to talk to you afterwards. Absolutely. I want to see how I can do my job better. But I wrote that, and I take full responsibility. It's me.
I would like that.
Let's get to the next question.
But Sheriff, if we could really get an official apology from the Sheriff Department because of what this caused, that would, I think, start the healing process in this community.
Let me tell you my intent from it. I didn't do the article, but I'm responsible for whatever they all do. Is I was having people send a message to my phone, and they want to come out and show that they support law enforcement. And I told every one of them, I'll show you my phone, you read the message. I said, if you want to support law enforcement, stay home. What we didn't want was two different groups butting heads out there. If they wanted to march, if we was going to do this, all we want to do is keep it peaceful. We want you to be able to come and do it, get your point across and go home. What we didn't want was two different groups going head to head and causing problems. Because if you come to support me, and you're causing problems, you're not helping us, you're just compounding the problem. That's why I reached out to the preachers, I reached out to Kimberly Alexander, I said, help us do this right. The last thing we want to do is to look bad for our community or to be on the news media. We don't want to make national attention. I'd be tickled to death if I never see a news camera in my face again in my life. But we would love for you to come, sit down with us, let's talk.
All right.